I got the group message.
Back away, fiend!
Oh, stop. I'm not going to destroy this chase like I did the one in the past. I've changed, but I'm also not dressing up as an animal like you requested us to do.
Oh, whew. And why not? I mean, today we are reviewing the bunny, so I thought we would all dress up as animals.
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Listen, your AEW figure reviews never perform well on the channel. I think we need to cater more to the hardcore AEW fans to get them to tune in.
Yeah, but don't you think they're more likely to tune in because I'm a giraffe?
No, I watched Full Gear last weekend and saw this amazing match. One of the best of the year, and in it Hangman Page drank Swerve's blood.
Drank his blood? Like Edward Cullen? That's awesome!
No, not at all like Edward Cullen. It was much more violent and amazing.
Oh, that's kind of disturbing. But anyway, what are your suggestions? What do you think we can do to get some hardcore AEW fans here in LumberJillville?
Well, you can start by not sending out a group message to try and get us all to dress as animals. That's a dumb idea, and none of us are cheesy enough to actually do.
Move, mother truckers! Mahoo over! Your queen has arrived!
Okay, I stand corrected, but I'm definitely not surprised.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll change out of my giraffe costume. Maybe I'll take a more serious approach to this AEW figure review.
Yeah, I'm going to need some more creative control to get this channel back on track.
Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now before we get started, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, like today's much anticipated, very exciting review of AEW Unrivaled Series 13, The Bunny Chase. Now this is the only way to get the bunny figure. This figure has caused so much stress in my figure collecting life over the last however many months since they announced that this would only be released in Chase version. That means there's no regular bunnies out there. It's just the Chases. Now, I think when the Vault, the AEW Vault opens up, whenever that is in 2029 or whatever, I think it'll be available, but it is starting to pop up throughout the country. I've had no luck, but a huge shout out to my buddy Rob on Facebook who hooked me up with this. I was able to buy it off of him for an excellent price, and it just means so much to me because I'm able to review this figure for all of y'all. Now, this is a Chase. I normally don't open Chases, but here's the deal. This is the only bunny figure, the only figure of Allie, and I want to review it for y'all. I want to show y'all what it looks like up close and how it compares to other AEW figures. And we really haven't had many women's AEW figures this past year, and there's not many announced for the future, so it's been real bleak, kind of depressing around here as far as AEW women's figures go. So when I had the opportunity to get this bunny, I knew that I had to open it up and I have to review it for all of you and for Allie herself out there if she's watching, because she has long deserved a figure and I was anticipating this figure so bad. So to have it finally next to me means a lot. Now I am going to try to find another one, maybe even buy another one with some Christmas money to keep MOC, but we're going to open this one up today and see how it looks. Now let's start off looking at the packaging. So here we have it, the Chase Bunny figure in all its MOC glory. And like I said, this is one of those instances where I would 100% keep this MOC, but hey, I'll get another one in the future. I'm here to review women's wrestling figures, and today I want to review the bunny. I want to review the Allie figure because I was looking forward to this figure since they announced it. Now, obviously, this being the Chase, we have that big red sticker on the front, says 1 of 5,000. We also have the red number 122 on the corner and also on the side. Now what changes this, at least Chase's from regular versions, is usually there's different images along with those stickers and the red number. There's a different image on the front corner and then also a different image on the back. But since we're not getting the regular version, and I'm not sure what the regular version was going to look like, but I have some ideas. But we'll get to that in a moment here. So yeah, I think the AEW figure packaging is the best looking out there. I'm just going to be honest. I really love the Unrivaled with the gold and black theme. I think it looks striking. I think it pops. I love the shape. The design of the package is just tremendous. I like how we have an open window here. We can see the whole figure, and we can see included is the bunny mask and also 2 extra hands there. We have an image of the beautiful bunny on the front. And then on the back, we have an image of the bunny. And we have a date, 4/7/2021 Dynamite. Now, that is actually not accurate to this attire. And that makes me wonder that if this date, because the date usually stays the same between the regular and the chases. So I think the regular version of the bunny figure, if I had to guess, if it was off of this date, it would look very similar to this. But instead of long pants, she would have much shorter shorts and then maybe fishnets or stockings on, just to, be on par with that date. However, it is important to note that Jazzwares has been wrong with this date on multiple, and I mean multiple occasions. I just reviewed the women's wrestling figures for AEW, and I'd say about half of them, the date on the back of the package is absolutely wrong with the attire, which is a little bit of a head scratcher. But hey, we are here to review the figure, not the date on the back of the package. So, looking here, I love this image of Allie. She is just one of my wrestler crushes, I would say. And this autograph on the back is beautiful. It's obviously like a screen printed transfer. It's not a real autograph. So yeah, now we are going to open it up. And I usually don't unbox on camera, but we're going to do it today because it's a chase. So why not? And, AEW fans, if you're watching, there's a good chance that I cut my finger with these scissors. And we'll get some color in this review. And then maybe the views will go up because, as I mentioned, the AEW figure reviews never tend to do too well on the channel, which is a little disappointing because I think they have some of the best women's figure reviews out there. So I'm just slicing the tape on the side. Got a slice there, and then, okay, we got this top part. I don't think we need to do the top. Okay, so we sliced it. Oh, God. I'm trying not to completely butcher the package here because I'd like to at least... Okay, so we got 2 pieces in the bottom. It just opens up like that. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to peel it off the cardboard here. Real carefully. Okay, I'm just separating the cardboard. And when I do that, I can shimmy, slide out the bunny. Maybe. Here she is. Now I'm going to get her out of this plastic bubble and let's take a closer look. AEW Unrivaled Series 13 The Bunny, one of 5,000 Chase exclusive. This attire is from the January 26, 2021 episode of AEW Dark, where the bunny would accompany the Butcher and the Blade, who were winners in a tag team match. Alright, so my first impressions of this figure, I'm just smiling ear to ear, y'all. Now, I'm going to say one thing, and I know it's the obvious. The face scan and sculpt is pretty brutal. Now, we will take a closer look at that here soon. Next, actually. But I just want to give my first impressions, the feeling that I got when I took it out of the package. And I'm just so happy that Allie, the bunny, has finally got a figure. I was a huge fan of hers in Impact years and years ago when she had a big feud with Su Yung. And I always wanted a figure of hers. So I'm just so happy to have one finally. And even though the face sculpt and scan doesn't look that great from a distance, we'll see how it is up close here next. But I'm just grateful to have an Allie the bunny figure, honestly. And, okay, so that being said, let's move on to the accessories that she comes with. Now, she comes with 2 extra hands. She has open hands with fingernail polish. Now, the extra hands are really cool because they have brass knuckles attached. How freaking cool is that? That's something that I had no clue was included until I took them out of the box. But, yeah, she's got brass knuckles attached to these closed fist hands, so that's super cool. Now, obviously, the biggest factor that makes this figure really toyetic is this bunny mask. So taking a closer look at the bunny mask, it's actually more detailed than it has any right to be, which is great. It's a black rubber material with white painted on the front, and we have a little design on the nose there. There's some black design around the eyes, and it is a very soft rubber, so it should go on her head pretty well. And then we have this jacket. Now this jacket, it looks like a soft goods jacket, but the cool thing about it, it's not. It's a real soft rubber. You know, they pretty much knock it out of the park with their figures as far as the jacket accessories go. And this one looks soft goods, but it's not. But what's really great about it is all the folds and all the detail that they put into the sculpting. You know, looking at it from the front, we have little silver dots painted throughout. We have a zipper, which I believe, yeah, it appears to be a sculpted zipper pattern there with silver paint. We have these silver tassels painted on the shoulder with a little bit of sculpting there. And then we have the bunny on the back of the jacket. Now, that is freaking awesome. Now, we are going to take the jacket off to see how easy or hard it is to remove. Now, usually these AEW, I really hope, this is the one time I really hope I don't break a figure. You know, I would suggest popping the hands off first, but your boy is stubborn. So this jacket comes off very easily, which I am very happy about. But like I said, because it is that soft rubber, it does come off easily. Now, we will check the figure out for staining, which I don't see offhand, which is great. So yeah, as far as the accessories go, I love them. So unique, so cool. Now, let's take a closer look at the face sculpt, face scan, and hair. Alright, so let's just call it how it is. This face sculpt and scan is absolutely terrifying and really does not look like Allie at all. Now, I say that in all due respect to her because she is an absolute beautiful woman, absolute knockout. Like I said, one of my female wrestling crushes. And this face sculpt and scan does not do her justice. It is bizarre, to say the least. And they've really been missing with their face sculpts and scans as of late. You know, I'll show you this next to the Penelope Ford from Unrivaled 11. And it just looks like two random blonde girls. It actually does not look like the bunny and Penelope side by side. So yeah, the face sculpt and scan leaves a lot to be desired. She has a very unique look, and I don't think they captured that. I think the shape of the face is what really throws it off. It's not accurate at all. And the scan is just bizarre. It's just a bizarre-looking scan. Now, I am glad it did come with the bunny mask, which we will put on in a second to see if that helps it. But yeah, as far as the face sculpt and scan goes, not good. Now, the one thing I am going to say that I cannot stand about the AEW women's figures is they had this unnecessary joint in the neck, okay? And it allows for the head to kind of roll forward. Not look up and down, but roll forward and roll back. And you can't really see it there, but I don't want to pop this head off in case it breaks. But it's an unnecessary joint, and it makes it real hard on the figures that have swappable heads to put the head on with that joint moving back and forth. And here, we don't have a swappable head, but we see that joint in the neck, and it just looks terrible. It looks so bad. It looks like she had a tracheotomy or something. So I really do not like that neck joint. I think it's unnecessary, and I wish they would get rid of it. But, okay, now that we, slam the face enough. Also, it'd be nice if we had dark lipstick. I need to go back and look at images from the match that this is from, but around this time, she would wear, like, black lipstick, real dark lipstick, and I think that would make this face a little better, but we don't get that here. So, looking at the hair sculpt is okay. It's like a dirty blonde type color. Got some sculpting over the right side there, a little bit over the left, and yeah, the hair sculpt is alright, I guess. But yeah, not crazy about the face. But to fix it, we got this little bunny mask. So let's put this bunny mask on. And you want to be real careful. You don't want to snap this strap, but this rubber, this plastic, whatever it is real flexible. It goes on real easily. And then we have the bunny with her mask, and yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, it is going to take some adjusting to get it on perfectly, but I just think that's cool. I mean, how cool is that? I think that's amazing. Now, let's move on to the body sculpt and the attire. All right, so moving on down to the body sculpt and the attire. Now, that is something that I absolutely love about the AEW women's figures by Jazzwares, is a lot of them have very uniquely sculpted parts that make them very personalized to the female wrestler that the figures are portraying, and I think that is excellent. I love that they do that, and it looks like they did that here. I hope they don't stop that and get lazy in the future, because I love how a lot of these women's wrestling figures, if you look at them up close, they have very unique personalized sculpted parts that are used. There's not a whole lot of reuse as far as the torsos and chest. goes. So I absolutely love that. And here it's no difference. I think this body sculpt is tremendous. The arms work good. We have her chest is very detailed, very accurate there. Oh, wow. On the backside, we have the backside very accurate and detailed. You know, we know Jazzwares loves to accentuate the curves, as we will say. So, that, I mean, it's cool. It's accurate. So, I think they did a good job here. And I think the midsection looks great. So, yeah, once again, bravo to the sculpting. I think they did an excellent job. And beyond that, if we're looking close at the attire sculpt itself, I mean, look at all this intricate sculpting that goes into this attire. It is freaking amazing. Even the laces on the front are sculpted, and look how intricately painted they are. It looks very clean. Bravo. I even love the silver rivets that the strings are sculpted going through. It's even sculpted at the top being tied off. We have the strap that goes over that is also sculpted. We have this like off black color as a base color, which looks good. Moving it around the back, we have, oops, I just ripped the bunny head off. Okay, did not mean to do that. Now, it's these little details that I love. So moving on to the back, we have these straps that are sculpted, but look, we have little wrinkles, little folds showing that this is fabric and this is sculpted. Those little wrinkles and folds are sculpted, and I just love little details like that that make it look so accurate and so lifelike. And yeah, they went the extra mile there on the sculpting, and I just think that's great. Can't say enough good about it. Moving on down to the bottoms, as I mentioned, I think the date on the back of the package is when she wore like shorter tights, like I guess just the tights with like stockings in the bunny ears and all that. But here we have the pants, which I gave the date on the turntable. Anyway, the pants once again have tons of unique sculpting. The laces are all sculpted going up to the strings being tied. We have a lot of silver painted in there. We have this really cool pattern painted on in gold along the side, and that's inside these sculpted straps. Even these little sculpted straps going across there, it's amazing. We have little folds sculpted simulating pants, and I think that's great because sometimes Mattel, I'll be honest, they can be a little guilty of this, and they could just paint it flat when if they sculpted little folds, it would make it look a lot more accurate, and a lot of times they don't do that. So it's great that we have that here. And as I mentioned on the back side, we have the bottoms that are sculpted that go over about half the cheek there, I guess you would say, and it's painted accurately. Moving on down to these very unique high boots. I mean, these are just awesome. They are, wow, they are amazingly sculpted and detailed. A lot of work went into these laces, the rivets, all the way down, and yeah, these boots are awesome. So, we also have black fingernail polish. That's a nice little addition there. So yeah, as far as the body sculpt and attire goes, I mean, I can't say enough good about it. I think it is absolutely amazing, and I love... And it's been so long since I've reviewed an AEW women's figure that I forgot how much I love them and how awesome of a job Jazzwares does with these women as far as giving them uniquely sculpted molds and really going the extra mile. So this is awesome. All right, so I just want to do a little side-by-side comparison here. So on the left, we have AEW Unrivaled Series 11 Penelope Ford. And on the right, we have that AEW Unrivaled Series 13 Chase, the bunny that we're looking at today. Now, these two look kind of ridiculous next to each other, I'm just going to be honest. So scaling is not really a thing that I hold against Jazzwares or Mattel, because scaling, whether they admit it or not, has been thrown out the window since I started this channel, really, since before then. I mean, the scaling's all over the place, but that's the one critique I can have on the AEW Jazzwares women's figures. They're all over the place. The Ruby Soho is way too tall. Penelope Ford is way too tall. So she is 5'4" listed. Laura Dennis, Allie, the bunny, 5'10". Now, if we put these next to each other, look how much larger in scale Penelope Ford is. That's just bizarre. Now, I thought when I reviewed this figure it was a little too large, but just the proportions and everything are so much bigger. It's like a scaled up version that should have been scaled down a little bit to make it more accurate. And these two are like besties, and they have tons of Instagram photos together. Research purposes, y'all, research purposes. And yeah, I was hoping they'd look better together, but they don't. I mean, it starts with the terrible face sculpts and scans. Both of them have terrible face sculpts and scans. I mean, if you put these two next to each other, don't think anyone would have any idea who they are. Unless you put the sunglasses on Penelope and the bunny ears onto Allie. I mean, these two do not look like Penelope, do not look like Allie, respectively, and that's disappointing. But yeah, I just wanted to see how she looked next to Penelope. Do a little comparison because they are besties. I want to put them displayed together. But I don't think I'm going to because this Penelope is just so big. Now, is this Penelope so big or is the bunny too small? I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I'll see once I put them all on display next to all my AEW women's figures, but I just wanted to show you how out of whack the scaling is. I mean, 5'4" Penelope is actually a few inches taller in figure height, I guess, than the bunny who's 5'10". So yeah, scaling has been a major issue, but let's focus on the positive. Let's get Penelope out of here. Goodbye, Penelope. Whip. All right, so now let's cover articulation, which we're going to be very careful with. You know, I'm not a huge fan of doing an articulation segment, but I know some people are curious. So we're going to do that. And if this breaks, I might weep on camera. So we have the head that looks down, looks up, looks right, looks left. Also has that real awkward joint I talked about where you can kind of forward move it. Pointless. Shoulders on a ball joint, and it kind of snaps, but in a good way. It kind of holds into position. We have an upper arm swivel, double jointed elbows can really flex all the way. Wrist can swivel, can also flex, extend. We have this upper torso swivel that's pretty darn good. Swivel at the waist. We have the hip, which is on a ball joint, can move in all different directions. Is inhibited going back by the backside sculpt there, I guess we'll say. Do we have an upper thigh swivel? We have an upper thigh swivel there. We have knees that are double jointed, which is nice that the boot sculpt kind of goes into it, so it's not inhibited at all. And then, do we have a boot swivel? I don't believe we have a boot swivel there. But we do have feet that can rock back and forth and go down and up. All right, so this is the segment where I usually give an overall grade to the figure, but I find that really hard to do. And not just because this is the chase, but because this is the only way to get the bunny, to get Allie, to get Laura Dennis in figure form. And I'm just so freaking grateful that it was released. Even though I'm really upset, really disappointed that there wasn't a regular line release, I'm happy that we got something and that she did finally get a figure. And more importantly, I'm grateful that I have it right next to me and I was able to review it for all of y'all. But what I can do is give my recommendation, and here's my recommendation on this figure. I suggest you get up, you go out, you check every Walmart around you because it does seem to be popping up all over the country at various different Walmarts in different states. So I'm going to keep hunting, and I hope all of you do too. Now, as far as if you want it right now, keep an eye on eBay because they're popping up everywhere. I've seen the price go down day by day on eBay. So maybe wait a week or two and scoop one up for, I'd say if you can get one around $60 or so, I would 100% go for it. And it's up to you whether you keep it MOC or open it up, but I definitely think it's a figure worth owning. And like I said, I'm just really stoked to have an Allie figure. So yes, I do think any women's wrestling figure collector that's watching needs this figure. And happy hunting. I hope you find it. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Also, head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10% on your next order of women's wrestling figures. Now stay tuned, Jillmas is almost upon us, y'all, in which we have a month-long celebration of the holidays. And the next figure review is going to be the WrestleMania Elite Trish Stratus. So I appreciate y'all watching, and have a great night, y'all.